the earthquake. Mum and I were in the backyard of 31 Campbell Street, and she was hanging on to the iron fence between us and the neighbours, and she was talking to the woman over there, and she had her foot on the rails, on the fence, and the earthquake hit and threw her clean off the fence onto the driveway. So she crawled out in the middle, away from any buildings or anything, and sat there, steadying herself, as the whole ground was moving. And I was playing at the back door under a porch. And she called me away from the building, you see. "Peter, come here." So I crawled out to her, probably roaring my head off, I can't remember. And I crawled out to her, and she picked me up, get me off the ground, because it was opening up and all sorts of things. And she was sitting there steadying us both, holding on to me. And this was always her talking point. If we had visitors after the earthquake, she always spoke of this. And she'd say, take the visitors out there, and she'd say, "See the crack in the concrete nib of the garden?" And they'd say, "Yeah." "Well," she says, and she'd tell them what happened. And what did happen was, she was nursing me, the nib split open, and the ground cracked right over and went between her bottom and her arm, her hand. She was steadying herself, you see, and that's where it went right through there, but not wide enough for us to fall into. It just opened and bang, shut again, So we survived that. And then the quake carried on, of course, and we had a big chimney near the back porch where I was playing, big brick chimney. Well, it wasn't long, and that snapped off and came down through the iron roof where I was playing. So it would have been the end of me. If I'd still been in there, it would have been the end of me. So, we had some close goes. And then my sister at school, as I said, these big high chimneys. And they used to have a iron lean-to on the back, so if it was a wet day, the kids could eat their lunch on the back of the school. And the chimney was plonk in the middle of that. And of course, the chimney came down, and she must have been fairly close to it, and one brick hit her, and she had bad concussion. A lot of the kids got away at the time of the quake. They were taking them to Palmerston, Wellington. For some reason or other, I've never asked Mum or Dad, I wished I had now, why didn't we get away? We ended up in army tents out at the town clock in Taradale.